Okay, here we are, officially the Viking Trader Chump Vet collab on this 1990 20. What did you say? 20? I thought it was 2610. It is 2610.
Yeah, 2610.
2610. 1990 Black ZR1. This the very first comment from me is, I now understand why Chump Vet called me when he arrived to pick it up and said, you really need to be sure.
Understand.
Yes, be sure you know what you're getting. I get it. This is carnage. This is total carnage. I'd love to know who did this to an LT5. I mean, it's one thing to have an issue. That's no big deal. But who let it sit like this? This is crazy. So what do you see here, Chump?
So initially when we got to the car, all the cam cover bolts were loose. They had been unscrewed. 2 were missing in the lower rear portion. So the cam cover had been removed. And at that point in time, we knew something was afoot.
Yeah.
And the other issue we had was a box of spare parts that had a head bolt.
Which you had actually identified that bolt, but we had sort of incorrectly thought, because why the heck would it be a head bolt?
Correct.
You had actually originally thought that perhaps it was a suspension. Look at that. Wow. Holy crap, you guys. Wow. Wow. I'm gonna just buff that out.
So the
That's something
missing
Viking Trader would do. It's not something Chump Vet would do.
the missing head bolt is down here.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
And then you can also see all the lifters have been removed.
Oh, lovely.
Camshaft has actually been removed. The bolts have been
Oh, yeah, I see the
undone.
valves down there, yeah. There's a valve down there, guys.
So let me...
So well, there's still spark plugs in it. That's positive. That's at least positive. The weird part is, like, it still has FX3. It's like, well, I think it's pretty simple. Somebody was attempting to repair this and then gave up, or maybe passed away, just for fun. Are these tires something that I would drive home on? Let's see, what year are these? They're 285s, first of all.
Yeah, all the way around.
Oh, they're
Look at the date code.
Yeah, they're from 2001. Okay. So our goal today, guys, is to remove the driver's side head, because clearly something was happening here. The brake booster has been loosened off, so we're sort of going back to gosh knows how long ago. Probably not 20 years ago. It probably sat for a while before someone attempted the repair, or who knows, maybe it's been like this for 20 freaking years, maybe. But we're gonna remove this head and see.
What is salvageable?
And the problem is, we think the head has been removed,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Which is like even worse, because what you can kind of see happening here is guy goes in, removes the head to perhaps fix a head gasket, right? And then pulls the head and discovers, oh boy, this is worse than just a head gasket. That's kind of what we're preparing to see here. So little details like this, you see how that is corroded, and then all the print on the AC sticker, the AC specs, I guess whatever that's called. I think there was supposed to be a sticker on here. See how that's missing? So our theory is that this vehicle sat with the hood open for a long time, with at least the driver's head or cam cover off. There's a quick shot of how the booster is disconnected. Yeah, we've got, of course, the usual rot on your weather stripping. None of that's a big deal. See, the theory, guys, was this is the perfect car. If you're going to take a ZR1, you want to have a wide body, take a ZR1, and you want to turn it into a track car. Why wouldn't you start with a car that is cosmetically not the most beautiful, right? Because you're going to do stuff to it anyways. And kind of the thought was similar along the lines. What do you see in there, Chump?
So this is the chain tensioner.
Yeah.
A little rusty because it's been open, but whoever did a previous repair, they put RTV all around instead of just relying on the O-ring. So the O-ring was probably didn't replace it, and so they just sealed it off.
You know, 20 years ago, weren't these cars still considered like pretty good?
Yeah.
See, that's what's making this so weird. I could see maybe 10 years ago when C4s were at like the all-time bottom of their depreciation cycle. Well, that's actually broken. No, it's not broken. That's missing. Well, it's broken off here. Yeah, see, there's been some sort of a cover on it or something brushing up against it. There's all sorts of like, I don't think this has been a repaint. It might have been sanded. It's weird. It's factory paint for sure. It almost looks, I don't know. But that doesn't matter because Chump, I had uploaded these pictures, but Chump just very quickly did a polish here. Hi, everybody. You know, for a race car, come on. Or track car. We'll call it a track rat, okay? We'll call it a track rat. Track rat, the paint's fine. There is some clear coat fading. For Portland, it rains here a lot. There is some clear coat fading here, but to tell you the truth, like, I'll just buff that and it'll look good enough for the track. I might repaint it. I will repaint it. Let's look inside, shall we? Oh, she's a beauty. She is a beauty. Okay, well, here, let's do the test. You know the test about the doors closing and the sound of the doors closing? Look fine to me. Look, first car I bought in a long time where the door panels don't almost come off every time you close the door. Yes, okay, someone asked me about these seats and what the deal was. Because clearly they are originally... what was that ecosystem growing back there? Supposedly the seller's father had this thing detailed. I think maybe that's a stretch calling it that. Oh, we got a later year stereo. There is definitely an odor in here. Chump. Did you put the bounce sheets in it?
Yep, I threw the bounce sheets in it.
You probably threw the whole box in. It still has quite a strong odor. Yeah, that's nothing abnormal that I don't get in every single car I buy. So I'm not too concerned about any of that. Look at this. So, okay, now, guys, now we are thinking that the top was off too. At least I am. Vicious. Vicious odor. Whew, wow. She is ripe in here. But, okay, yes, I am seeing some worn out carpet. That is wore out. But guys, track car and realist. Ooh, at least these say ZR1. I've never seen those before. If I'm keeping this thing factory legal to drive on the road, okay. What is that? That is some rubber. Oh, that's from a windshield repair. Dude, this was sitting on the hinge. That is slight. No, this windshield is not factory because it doesn't have. It does not have the whatever that stuff is that makes it look like a cool car in a ZR1. Anyway, so yeah, there's lots of interior stuff, but I mean, come off it. It's complete almost. Okay, there's maybe a few things missing. But compared to the normal cars I buy, this is not worse at all, okay? At least it doesn't smell like dead mice, I will say that. There is a odor of something, but I don't think it's dead mice. Go back to the engine here. What part are we on?
I'm trying to get the camshaft out.
That's the.
So this is the alignment veneer plate.
Oh, well, at least it's not stuck. There we go.
Camshaft out.
I would never in a million years attempt this without Chumpette. I just wouldn't do it. Someone who has a uniquely LT5, okay, right, yeah. It's nice and rusty.
Yeah. But the gear plates, the veneer plates, they all look fine. They can be reused. So that's a plus.
On a set of aftermarket cams that we get, Mike.
Well, you'll reuse those.
Yeah, we'll reuse these. So when we buy cams, it just comes with this part of it.
Correct.
Yeah, cool.
So, going back to my looking at spare parts that were in the box, you
Yeah.
do see the other missing washer up here.
The other missing washer
For the under the head bolt.
Okay.
So if you want to come over and film.
Yep. Here we go. Dang. So the lifters are missing in all of them.
All lifters.
Lovely. Just doesn't this make you just want to cry? What's the story in the Heart of the Beast, Chump, where they had to continue to make changes on the front chains, the timing chains, so that they wouldn't fail?
Yep, so they initially started out with a simplex chain,
Yeah.
and they were stretching and breaking apart, and they had to go to a dual chain,
Yeah.
and they were able to finally get the engine to survive.
Okay, Chump just made an observation.
So, not only do we have a missing head bolt, which would be here, we have a missing washer on the other head bolt back here in the corner. And then in this cylinder here for the exhaust, I just pushed the valve down, but the springs, the spring retainer, have both been removed for some reason.
For
Don't know why.
some reason.
Yeah, don't know why.
Oh yeah. Okay, I see how that is safer and also quick. Never used one of those. So far this video is pretty boring, hey guys, but the thing is, we can learn from Chumpette as he tells us what we are seeing, because I happen to know firsthand that I believe there is only one video, and it was shot from far away. And maybe it was that Dempsey fellow that I've never spoken to or know, but somebody took apart an LT5, and it is on YouTube, but it's from like 12 years ago. So I know that there is very little content about the LT5 being shared with the community. So here we are.
Patrick Dempsey?
Maybe. No, not Patrick. No, he's the race car driver, right? I might have the name wrong. I'm sure I
It's
did.
probably Dempsey back east.
Somebody took apart a. I think maybe they didn't take it apart. Maybe they were just trying to get to the starter or something. I can't remember. Very little content on these cars. I guess we can add a brake sensor to the list, eh?
No.
Missing?
Yeah, you just go to a different master cylinder that doesn't have that shit.
Like something from After Dark Speed?
No. You can go to a Camaro F-body master, especially if you're going to be doing big brakes.
I sure am going to be doing big brakes. You know it. Are these retained or do these come off?
Yeah, so you can see all the liquid down here.
Oh, it's not
Same
looking
thing on
good.
that.
It's not looking good, is it? Get some. Yeah, I mean, like, look at that. Have a gander at that. I guess that's just a spark plug hole, but still. Oh, look at the dirt. I guess that's okay because it's all going to get cleaned up anyways, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy. So we can. This isn't a fly and drive. This is more like a fly
And bag.
dismantle, beg for help from Chump, and very likely yank and then ship it off to get fixed. And very likely drive down here with my truck and trailer from Calgary to Portland and take it home without the engine, and then have the engine shipped either up to me in Canada. Here we go. Oh, look at that. She came very easily. Dun, 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 dun. Those are the coils.
Yeah.
Do they look like factory?
Yeah, they're factory. They're numbered.
And those are also factory wires too, right?
Except
Sweet.
they're bad.
They're bad. Oh my God! Look at the wiring. What is that connector there?
And
Look at it all.
yeah.
Now it's really starting to look like something I would buy.
Like I told you, it probably needs a wiring harness.
I happen to have purchased a wire. Oh my God! Look at those wires. Dang it! That's what you were saying. I thought you meant that connector, but no, the spark plug wires.
The connector and the spark plug wires.
Dang. Okay. Okay, everybody, we're ready. Okay, and the chain just falls down. Do you want me to grab this side?
Here.
I got a set of gloves. Let me just put one on. In case I happen to crunch my... 1 second. No,
Why
missing
it's
my... Oh.
always advisable to do this with the engine out.
Okay, 1 sec, dude. Here, I can grab the one side. Okay, there we go. I got this side. Something's...
Hang on.
Oh, it's hitting the steering shaft down below. So, I gotta say, this is one of the first cars I've purchased that is not rusted out down here underneath the battery tray. So, I mean, that's positive. This coloration, I think, is from the Arizona dirt. I'm pretty sure. Ooh, what's down here?
There's a little rust, but yeah, there's the red dirt from Arizona.
Oh boy. Chumpette, we may have an issue. That's okay, but yeah. We have an issue. That's a valve. Dude. All right. It's a valve. Can you tell if it's an intake or exhaust?
It's going to be an exhaust based upon the two that are missing the pedestals or all the other gear.
All bets are off. Oh boy. So, wait a minute. That means the head was off.
Well, they may have been able to fish it out.
How? Where would it come?
Well, you saw how much gap I got?
Oh, sure.
No, that one's not budging.
Oh my goodness.
And I got that one too far in, so we'll figure it out. It's probably one of those two.
Yeah, I would say so. So, like that doesn't faze me.
No.
That doesn't faze us.
No.
But it's not something you see every day.
Yeah.
I got this job done, sort of. Hold on, got to take those off. I'll be right back. So we were struggling to remove that head, but we got a little bit more rammy with it, and we just kind of pull it up and straight out, and then wiggle, 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 and out she came. Okay. What do we see?
So every single piston has an eyebrow cut into it.
Yeah.
So you got one here, 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 and then on this one you don't have as deep as a mark, but you can still see witness marks.
Yep.
And so at this point, my theory is the guy got the head gasket replaced. He put everything back together.
Which these are factory head gaskets, you're
yeah.
saying. Okay.
And he probably put the head back on and was trying to do a cam timing scenario with it. Everything completely out of phase. He was never going to get it back into phase as is. And so when he went to start something over, it bound up, broke a valve. He kept pushing it, and eventually it created that mark in the cylinder head and also here on the liner.
Oh yeah, this is the big one. So Jump Vet's telling me even if I was going to try and pull a Viking Trader, I can't because of that. On where the fire, that's the top of the sleeve. In fact, you can see it's even sliced when you zoom in on it like that. Yeah. I don't know how this is going to look on video, but there's one time there. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we are looking at pulling this engine, new sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to do new sleeves,
Build it.
you might as well build it up, which is exactly what we sort of thought was going to happen with this baby. So I'm not choked. It is what it is. And I think now, do we know enough now to give a phone call out to
Todd.
a builder?
Yep.
All right, so we're going to make that call, and then we'll come back with a plan. Okie dokie. Some of my friends on the forum were a little concerned, as you know, I've already put one video up about this, about the sanity of this project. So we now know that the liner in number 2610 is FUBAR. And we have, this would be called a cylinder liner? Or
So it's a liner. So it's machined. It's a press and fit. You have Loctite 565 that you spread on here, certain depth.
Yep.
And then it's pushed in.
Yep.
And then you measure the proud height to make sure it's correct. But anytime you press the sleeve, and it's got this shelf.
It actually lands on a shoulder or something.
Yep.
So then here, let's just get in quick here. Look at this. So on the video I showed you before, you can see the inside, which is the Nikasil. The Nikasil is the part that is just
It's a coating.
very thin coating. Dude, this has been in a car before?
Yeah.
This has been in a car. I can see a little bit of wear marks on there, and obviously that witness marks of the glue. So the part right at the inner rim is what is damaged. You can see it sits, I don't know if you can, because there you go. You can see it sits a little bit proud from the outer aluminum, and where is it? There. You can see, there you go, that damage. So then this whole unit is pushed out from the, So there is a potential, if I buy this off of you, he's nodding his head very slowly. There is a potential that we could make this engine run
With just that sleeve.
with just this sleeve and a whole lot of knowledge and a whole lot of experience and many, many, many years. How old were you when you bought your first?
24.
24 years old. And we're not going to tell you how old we are, but I will tell you we're the exact same age. Okay, back to you guys. It doesn't matter how shitty quality our video is. Nobody ever has run-throughs of an LT5. So what were you just saying?
So this is the original valve that was busted.
Yep. Which was underneath the battery.
Yep.
That's random.
Yep. And then so you can see here the green dye on these valves. So this is where they've come through and they've painted it and they've been lapping the valves to get a complete seal.
Yep.
And obviously you can see here where they've got marks from when they were doing the work, keeping track of their order.
1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Why do you think the zero? What are these?
It may be that, I mean, this is the one that broke off. You can tell maybe this one didn't need as much work or something.
Okay, but just a minute. Something's not adding up to me here, bud, because this work was done. Those marks wouldn't still be on this head if this engine was ran, correct?
So
It's almost like they did the work. They put like that, dude. This valve has not been run. That hasn't seen any service, has it?
no.
So
Because yeah, you can see all the dirt marks, all the carbon buildup on the other pistons.
Right.
I'm sorry,
So-
the valves.
Are we not looking at a scenario where this has all actually been done and then maybe the individual passed away in the
Well, you know he didn't pass away. He's still alive based on your Google searching.
Yes, however, that was the original owner. We don't know if the doctor I don't think a doctor would attempt this, would he? So
Backyard mechanic, maybe.
he might have sold the vehicle to somebody who then I'd say that's probably more along the lines. But this is the heart-wrenching part about this. You know, the paint can buff out. You know, you can buy new weather stripping. No big deal. And I've done that on all my other Roach early cars. The only thing that has completely trashed this particular project is the fact that this darn car was left open with the hood open. And those camshafts are FUBAR. They're rusted. Like, who does that? I think everything's been done on this engine. The one thing that they didn't do, though, is they didn't fix that liner down there.
Yeah. There were only a certain amount of bolts. So you had a bolt here, here.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, because you have the stud here, and then it's like there were only a certain amount to hold it, because it was actually a pretty decent flange.
Well, there's an LT5 head, boys and girls. Is there anything to be gleaned from looking in here at all? So Viking Trader would reuse those gaskets. My shit seals up, man. It's okay. Oops, sorry.
So this valve guide, it looks like it's got something on it. I'm not sure if that's a goo or what, but we'll take a look at
Just
that.
get the finger in there, and I'll just give it the old finger test. Get that in there.
Make the wife proud.
It's goo.
Yeah.
It's almost like assembly lube or something. Yeah. Again, it hasn't been ran. It was not ran. We can't lose that. That's a lucky charm.
Make a necklace?
Yeah. So our thoughts on what to do. Okay. If the plan is to turn it into a track rat, which, you know, that's pretty much what it is destined for. There's really no point in putting the sleeve in like I just talked about, which would be fun. I mean, that would be cool to do the repair. Like, the truth of the matter is, am I wrong that like you could probably, it would run like that, right? It would run with that damage in the
You run the risk of blowing out the gasket.
right. And
Starting from
Chump Vet
scratch,
doesn't
yeah.
work like that. Viking Trader does, but Chump Vet doesn't work like that. So, oh, those work. That's good.
Well, you say they run, so this is fully open. That's off. That's off. They should be vertical like this one.
Oh. Yeah, that one's open all the way. Yeah, that's that's straight. And then let it go and watch how it doesn't close all the way either. Yeah. Those get stripped out when you do the engine build, right? They get removed and plugged and whatnot. All right, where are we? As you can tell, we just sort of get rolling on different things, but you know, some of you might want to learn about LT5s. So there's no point in us putting a new sleeve into this.
Not in my opinion.
Not in Chump's opinion.
Putting a used sleeve in is what I should say.
Well, I mean, my cars are all built from used stuff, but anyway, we might as well just send this engine out because LT5 gasket costs are high, and not only that, but our time, and the time has to be respected, especially when this is a collaborative project that is sitting in a friend's driveway, as opposed to back up where I live on my acreage, taking up no space anywhere. So we do have to respect that, which means the best course of action here is to simply yank this thing out and send it off to a builder. Okay, we're back. We're back. We've reached in, pulled the hatch. There's a little bit of turd action in here, but very little. You have to go down underneath here to, there's a little bit of turd action down there. Not much though. Most of that stuff, like, you know how it, whoa! Oh yeah, okay. We got power. We just hooked up a battery to see if the thing would spontaneously combust, but hasn't. Okay, so here, let's try a few things. Holy, the seat works. Amazing. Okay, ignition going to...
Nope, not yet.
Not yet?
Let me just disconnect the fuel pumps.
Right. Well, this is why you gotta do it with someone who knows what they're doing. When I look at this car, I see a car. I see a car that doesn't even have a cracked dash. I see a car that wants to run. I see a car that after 20 years would like to drive again. What's interesting is that the license plate on here is from 2003. So this car legit... Oh, the lights are on. Lights work.
So the brake pedal switch is off.
What do you mean?
Third brake light works. So the brake pedal switch is up off of its mount.
Oh yeah, okay.
So it thinks the pedal's depressed.
Oh, gotcha.
So if you reach under the dash and you push it down, the lights will go out.
Okay, here we go. Oh, the brakes are totally... We've got
That's right. We don't have the brake pedal hooked.
We got some flop action there.
Yeah.
If I do this, do they go off?
Yep.
There we go. Okay. Alrighty. So you're just gonna... what are you disconnecting? Are you looking at the tank?
Well, that too.
Because we haven't really put our face in there yet. You just want to disconnect it?
Yeah.
Done this a few times. So I want to turn the key on. And Chumpette said, wait, let's make sure that the pump doesn't pump.
The fuel pumps are probably dead anyways.
Yep, probably. There it is. It's actually remarkable you did that without tearing that thing.
Not out yet.
Right. So you can't just pull the fuse?
You can, but there's also 2 fuses for fuel pumps in this car. One's buried underneath the dash.
Aha!
So
Okay.
disconnected.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But I mean, if you look, the assembly's not rusted and everything else.
Yeah, oh, it looks all right. Actually, even inside there's not too bad. Yeah. Okay. I can put the key to the on position.
Yep.
Here we go. Oh, we got power! Wow. Bunch of lights came on. I'll try that again. Hold on. Yeah, we got lots of dust that lots of Arizona dust. You can see it down here. See that? And in there. Here we go. So it's making everything...
Tell me something you don't hear?
The fuel pump.
Nope.
Oh yeah, the buzzer.
Yep.
That's kind of standard though,
Yeah.
right? That's kind of standard. Oh, when did they get rid of the door jams? The door jam.
Wind lights?
Yeah, no, not the windlace. The door jamb switches here. What year did they do that? The early cars have a switch
Yeah,
there.
okay, there's a secondary switch that goes along with the switch over here. I'm not sure what year they got rid of that.
They must have put everything over to this switch then
Because
eventually.
you got to remember, everything now goes through the CCM.
Right.
The early cars did not have that luxury.
So there we are. We already knew that though. Incidentally, if you ever... Oh man, this is really sticky.
Don't forget you got a button to push the
Yeah, but it is just like there. Look at this. I don't know what those things are. See, to me this car was at one time this doctor's love. I think he liked this car. But it has seen better days. Oh yeah, wow. RTVing the gear shift knob. Amazing. That is a first for me. You ever seen that?
Nope.
Wow. Okay, what else we got in here?
Sounds like a typical Corvette form, folks.
Oh, typical Corvette form. Oh, well, we got this. We got that. That's good. That's there. Okay, that's good. We got those. Okay, that's good. We got those. Oh, good. We got the retainer. That's
Yeah.
good.
I pulled the knob off because it was covered in tape as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Why do I feel like there's supposed to be something here?
Yeah, your center console.
Oh, yeah, right. This drops down in there. Yeah, okay. Let's look behind here, see what we got. Move the seat forward, I guess. Works. Holy lightning. I would not have thought it would work. Ooh, we don't want to look down there, boys and girls. Don't look too close. Oh, there's a jack. Wow. Did you know that was there?
Yep. So the jack handle goes there. The jack itself is in the spare tire tub.
The jack belongs behind the seat?
No.
It's behind the
jack
seat.
handle is behind the seat. The jack goes in the spare tire tub.
How long was it like that? I've never in my life seen a jack handle down behind it. Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
through at least 90 through 96. And then in 94, the jack was placed in the CDM for the radio behind the passenger seat.
Holy man, guys, that is so nasty. Is that a snake skin? Dude, that is a snake skin. That is some... I got an Arizona Rattler snake skin in here. What the... That has got to be somehow incorporated into the name of this car. There's snake skin in the back of this car.
Sure it's not a used condom?
Pretty sure. Okay, well, that all looks normal.
Yep. The fact that you actually have the sound deadening is surprising.
Yep. What the?
That apparently got wet.
Well, not much to see. Well-worn car. Well-worn-in car.
49,000 miles.
149 and 6, I think.
149,005.
Yeah. What we got for the top? We got the clear top. No cracks. It's cool. Yeah. It has a stench. I've never seen these rims before. These ones are trashed, by the way. Check this out. I'll see if I can. So they've been curbed pretty hard. There. There. Over here's worse, though. Oh, yeah, this one's way worse. Look at that. But I know a guy. I know a guy who can fix that. That is no trouble. I mean, I have brought back far worse cars. The 89 I did was so much worse than this one. Carpet's toast, unfortunately. That really sucks. It's a big job. So, boys and girls, this is a car that is not a flip car, okay? If you want to flip a C4, don't make it this bad to start with. You'll get kicked in the groin so hard. There's no possible way. This is the kind of car that you buy if you are somewhat sophisticated in C4s. For me, a ZR1 is, even though I own one, it's like a little bit of a leap because I don't really know. Like, I've never really worked on my LT5. It hasn't needed anything. It's been rock solid. So this is definitely out of my comfort zone, but it's just like a little bit further than what I know. So it's perfect. It's like the next evolution of, look at that. And just out of nowhere, bam, we have a brand new, okay, it's brand new to me, brand new to this car, gear shift knob, which is not wrapped in tape. We'll just set that on there. And there we go. Oh, and bazinga! We now have a new shift boot. Perfecto. So I hope you guys are getting the vibe here. This is not a car that I mistakenly thought was way better than it is. It's not a car that either myself or Chump is going to pretend that it is anything other than a turd. But it's a ZR1 turd. And if you're going to drive a turd, why not make it a ZR1 turd? I don't have a whole lot more to say, so I'm just going to sign off.
If you went to a 3/700 stroke, I have to do the math on that. I think that works out to about 372 cubic inches, something like that.
So are you making race engines right now with the 368?
I haven't, my customer, I did 2 for him it's been about 3 years ago now. And touch wood, we haven't had to make a new one yet. So,
No kidding. Okay.
but he's got a fleet of vintage ZR1 race cars.
Really?
Yeah, Jeff probably knows. I don't know if Jeff knows it. But,
Is that the guy that has the Morrison cars?
Yeah. Yep. So I did all the engines in that. Hybeck did one, and I did the rest of them.
Don't worry, just my face. Okay, so we're kind of end of day 2 now on this 1990 ZR1 2610. And we thought we would make a little video on what would, if you didn't have a resource like Chomp Vet, and you didn't have my ability to just buy crap cans and not be discouraged, what would you do if you bought this car? How could you get whole on this car? What would be the path to getting it running? So you interject at any time.
Okay.
I'm being driven to the Portland International Airport to head home. So you interject at any time. the valve work was done.
Correct.
Okay. So whatever the damage was originally, which we don't exactly know if the smoking gun is that there's this broken valve head or whatever the fluted part of the valve is. So clearly at one point there was at least one valve that actually broke.
Correct.
That was probably the initial accident, the initial whoopsies, because that valve flute was underneath the battery. I think there's video of it. It had been there forever. It looked really
crusty,
old.
corroded.
Yeah, very crusty. But that's also a bit weird because it looks like it's been there for a long time, which means it looks to me like it had been affected by road grime.
Well, it had carbon deposits on it.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, sure. So
And then the rust is from 20 years of being exposed to the elements.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. So what we don't know is at what point in the last 20 years did this car have its head taken off and get sent out for work? That is a mystery to us, and I haven't been able to find any, I haven't been able to communicate with the prior owner, Dr. Lee Schwartz. So if you're out there, I'd love to get the story on what happened. I have a suspicion though, because this man was driving a ZR1. He was a doctor. He's a professional. He would have had the financial means to rebuild this thing properly. So, but you also got to look at the registration. The registration, the last time it had any mileage on it was 2003, which is what the plates were, and the owner was in California. So it looks like the damage occurred with the doctor, then he sold the car. Now, Chump has another potential theory.
So, car had issues, taken to dealership. Dealership tries repair. Dealership fails at repair. And the recourse is the dealership assumed possession of the car.
Because if you look at the
Carfax.
The Carfax, there's some weird business that's going on. It's like it passed through some dealerships. I believe there was even an auction in there somewhere.
I can't remember.
But no mileage was added to the car. Well, we know why there was no mileage added to the car, because it was pushed everywhere or towed everywhere. But the dealer probably would have just cut their losses.
Yep.
Is what you're saying.
Send it to auction and been done with it.
Yeah, because this is a different animal that there's so few people that... And back in those days, 2003, 20 years ago, were guys like Mark known to be like working...
The big players would have been Jim Van Dorn and Automasters, Doug Rippey and Lingenfelter, and Aaron Scott down in South Georgia Corvette.
Did you say something? Yeah, right. Remember the door sill covers that had the ZR1 badge on them? You were thinking it's possible that was a Jim Van Dorn item.
He either bought those door seal covers from Van Dorn, or the car had been serviced at Automasters.
Which was Van Dorn?
Yep.
And given the fact that he lived in California, kind of adding up. So, I don't know if you guys enjoy this, like, sort of forensic, trying to get to root cause analysis, but we both love it. So what would you do? Let's pick that up. What would you do? If you bought this car today, and I think I should just tell them what I paid. No? Okay, I guess not. I will say that I need to at least, like, this car wasn't worth the $7,500 that it was being asked for, that it was advertised for. And the reason for that isn't actually the LT5 damage, to tell you the truth, because you can buy an LT5. Like, for example, you could probably buy an LT5 from Chump Vet for, what, like $6,000, $7,000, something like that, and he would probably even go through it for you, and you'd know that you're getting a quality part, quality engine, with all the history and the VIN number details and all that stuff. It's the interior of this car and the exterior of this car. It's disgusting. It's trashed. It needs all new carpet. There's plastics that are broken everywhere. And I mean, you guys know I'm okay with that. That's like what I do. It's a hobby for me. I don't mind doing that. I will say that I've had issues with replacement carpets on C4s because you cannot. That guy got studded tires.
Yes.
Studded tires in Portland. You need
Yeah.
studded tires in Portland.
Depends upon where you live.
Okay. I mean, there's people with studded tires in Calgary, but that's because I live in the tundra. Where was I?
Carpet.
Carpet.
ACC.
The carpet's a kick in the balls because if you've bought any of this ACC carpet, to be fair, I've never bought it with the mass backing. I don't even know if you can really get the mass backing to the same quality level as you could with the factory with that dark black, with the black sort of like, it's not tar, but the black polymer backing. I don't like having to replace carpets. I actually prefer to pull the factory carpet out and clean the crap out of it and then put it back in. But when you're missing fibers, which this one is, because it would have sat for 20 years in the Arizona sun, all those fibers have just been melted away. They've just floated away. And actually, I think that's what was in the back seat, guys. Remember, it looked like there was an ecosystem growing in the back seat of this thing? I don't think it was mold. I think it was just fuzz from carpet. So what you would do if you ended up with this, you wouldn't pay $7,500 for it. You wouldn't pay $6,000 for it. This is like a sub. Like, honestly, I personally would not have paid more than $4,000 for this car. I wouldn't have done that, and I didn't pay more than $4,000 for it. So this isn't about a money thing, but just to give you our perspective. And that's saying a lot. And Chump, what would you have paid for it if I wasn't pining over it to build a track car, realistically?
25 to 3.
Yeah, so $2,500 to $3,000. Okay, so that's low for a ZR1, but it's because of the rest of the condition of the car. Alrighty, and that's coming from a guy who obviously has the ability to fix this thing with inventory already on hand. So if you did buy it, you would strip it down, you'd pull the block, okay, which means I've always dropped the drive shaft, the C-beam, the transmission, and then I've always done, what am I saying? I've only ever pulled one engine in my life. What am I saying? I've only pulled one engine, and it was Frostbite's Crossfire just now. How do you pull it, these?
Pull the transmission, the drive shaft, and then come in from the sides.
With a picker.
Yeah, with a picker.
Yeah,
and
okay,
just
so
pick it straight up.
So in other words, you do pull the drive shaft,
Yep.
the C-beam, the tranny.
Yes.
You have to pull all that before you get to the engine. So you're doing that, pulling that. You're pulling the heads off. Would you pull the heads off? Well, you pulled the heads
No.
off to find out what was going wrong with it.
No.
If you were us, you would pull the heads off. Would you pull the second head off? You wouldn't.
So the issue with pulling the heads off, usually you have way too much other auxiliary components to remove to allow you to pull the head off. So if
I see.
the brake booster hadn't already been removed
Yep.
when they previously did the work,
Yep.
I would have done nothing. I just would have said, it's a mystery. We're going to make you an offer based upon what we can see.
Okay.
And the passenger side is easier to get the cylinder head off of with the HVAC box. But once again, getting it on an engine stand is way easier.
Yeah, to do your work, right?
Yes.
So just as a reminder, because it's not like we intended to make a video on this, we just thought we did this at the last second. When Chump was up in Redmond, Washington, he noticed that the brake booster was loosened, and that was one of the things that triggered him to give me a call and give me a heads up, and it's like, are you sure you want to do this? That allowed him to pull the cam cover off, which then led to a massive reduction in price, which, yeah. Okay, so you would have to get to the block. This is going on way too long, but you'd have to get to the block. Okay, then your easiest path would be to send it out to like any old shop to press out that one cylinder sleeve that has the damage at the top of it.
You could pull it out yourself. You could figure out a way to do it.
Like with a shop press?
No, you would not use a press. You'd use a puller.
Okay, so like a guy could do it. Interesting. Okay. Of course, now I'm going in my head. I'm like, oh, maybe
So-
I should just do that. I don't know.
So the GM tool was basically like a horseshoe. Center bar went down and it had a pivot plate, and the pivot plate had steps in it to secure it to the liner, and then you just twist the knob and it sucks it up and pulls the liner out.
Okay. So it's a puller. And then you would buy yourself probably a used
A
sleeve.
used sleeve from
Okay.
any source.
Any source, which
Yeah.
could have been from Jump Vet, right? We showed one, I think.
Yeah.
I know we got one in a video for you to see. And like, what is it? What is it, like $500 for a sleeve?
For original sleeve?
Yeah.
No. They should be $50 maybe.
Oh, so $50, okay? So even with, okay, this is why I love doing this, even with this level of damage, if you're patient, it would have been different if the valves hadn't already been repaired, right? But when we flipped over the head and we could see it had all been done, it was like, okay, but we're not done because we have rusty cams. When we cleaned the bottom side of the cam cover, all of the grunge actually came out. So the rusty, dusty crud had not damaged the surface of the cam cover. So that's good. But the cams themselves, I tried, of course I'm gonna try. Jump Vet just started throwing them in the trash, but I grabbed it before it got to the trash just to see if I could get it back. But nah, there's no way. So you're in for a couple, at least two, on the driver's side cams. And so what are two factory cams? What do they cost?
About $1,000.
$1,000 for the pair. Okay. So, I mean, you got time. Okay, and then you got to figure out how to time it. But this is something you can figure out. It doesn't cost you money to time.
No.
Your next cost is really just gaskets, right? Again, full gasket set all in
About $1,000.
is another grand. That's like one of the most expensive gasket sets on the planet. So
And that's without going to the MLS style gasket, which is another $400 to $500.
which we absolutely would go to the MLS style gasket. We learned that from Todd on the phone.
That's what's in the red car.
Yeah, that's a must. The reason for that is because the cylinder sleeves are pressed in with that Loctite under high load conditions, is that what you would say? They can, I mean, you're not going to see it with your naked eye, but those sleeves will move a little bit, right? And that's a
Correct.
known thing in the LT5, right? That's not a problem with, and it'll probably never manifest itself into an issue whatsoever if you're running stock engine, maybe even a little more power, like ported and all that stuff. But when you're building dedicated race or dedicated track rats with more power, and I'm talking out my butt right now, I've never even done this, but that's what I've been learning over the past few days. There was another thing you said about being able to lock down was it moving to the ductile?
Yep.
It allows you to lock in that sleeve better?
So, Mark Hybeck, Pete, and a few other people will build a internal sleeve to go inside the block to replace the slip-in sleeve sections, and it then becomes a solid structure at the bottom and also at the top.
Got it. So that gets rid of any movement, which they would have to do for these high cube, high displacement, high power LT5s. Okay. So if I do a 368, do I need to do that?
No.
I don't do that. But what we learned was use the MLS gasket, and that it helps kind of roll with a little bit of movement, and you don't end up blowing gaskets. Is that my interpretation right? Yeah.
It's a stronger gasket.
Right. So you're going to spend, so let's say that you want to just get it factory. You don't have to spend You don't have to buy the MLS gasket. We're at, call it $100 for the sleeve. We're at $1,000. Throw in another $100 for shipping. Okay, so that's $1,200.
Yeah.
Throw in $1,000 for gaskets. So we're $2,200.
2,700 for the MLS.
$2,700 if you want to go to the MLS side, but you don't have to do that if you're sticking with factory power stuff. But so that's really it for the, well, no, wait a minute, that's not it. That's to repair the damage, okay? That's to repair the damage that is stopping this engine from being a runner, okay? In this circumstance, in addition to that damage that we discovered, which was partially repaired, there's also a bunch of missing parts, okay? Because whoever started doing the work, can I change this around on the fly? I don't think so. I want to show you, what is that?
Mount Hood.
Mount Hood. I would show you Mount Hood, but I can't figure out how to turn my camera around. We got to buy fuel rail, injectors,
Injector housings. Plug wires.
Yeah, plug wires. I think I can fix the harness with a little bit of electrical soldering and that kind of stuff. So, that. What's that? No? Why not?
You're going to rerun those wires.
We're going to rerun. Oh, the whole thing. You don't mean like splice in. You're just going to replace the whole wire.
Yeah, replace the whole wiring.
Fair.
I've got the pins for the LT5 connector.
Right. So we would actually run clean wires from end to end with fresh pins in the proper sockets, the proper connectors. Okay, so you got some work to do there. Then there's also the HVAC. No, that piece was in there. The half of the HVAC was there. AC compressor was missing. Okay. What else was there? Was there other stuff that we knew was missing? Oh yeah, of course. Like the shrouds for the radiator. The radiator itself, I think, too, right?
The radiator should probably be replaced.
It's there, but you'd probably replace it.
The lower radiator support's missing.
Right, yep, which we got out of your green car that was on the driveway. So, this is the thing. None of that stuff is, well, the LT5 related stuff is actually quite expensive, right? Are we already at the airport?
Yeah, we're going to stop at City.
Okay. I'd talk a long time. What is the AC compressor for an LT5, approximately?
400-ish.
Yeah. So as you can see, that's why in another video, I don't know if I ended up editing it out or not, and I haven't even actually finished doing that because I've never done this before. And it takes a long time to stitch a video together. This was not a car that you could buy and get back on the road running and then sell profitably. Not going to happen. I will say, at the price I paid for it, which was slightly higher than what Chump's maximum was, you could get yourself a running ZR1, pay for the crap you need, do the work yourself, and you'd probably still be in for under 10.
Yeah.
You'd be in for under $10,000. And okay, you're going to polish the car, you're going to slowly clean up the interior, that kind of thing. So my whole point of all this is that there are ways to buy a ZR1, but you have to be able to, you have to be willing to do the work, figure it out, and buy the parts. The future plan for the car is, it is being yanked. The engine is being yanked. We did not yank the engine because there's too many other projects on the go and we didn't want to start a whole new one this weekend. But we'll pull it out and we'll send it away. And the plan right now is to send it to, is it Todd Pepmeyer?
Yep.
Can't wait, a 368. He's told me to expect somewhere around the ballpark of 500. What did he say? I can't remember if he said 500 at the crank or 500 at the wheels.
500 at the crank.
500 at the crank. It's perfectly good for me. I will be very happy with that. And we'll probably we don't know where the car is going to be. That's the part we haven't figured out yet, because I don't want to leave it in Chump's driveway for as long as this is going to take. It's pretty much not an option because Todd will be 6 months. So I'm probably going to drive down, pick the car up, and then take it back to Canada. And honestly, it might end up being I drive down again to get the engine, or maybe Chump Vet will come up and see Canada and bring the engine with him. Or maybe I'll get the engine shipped to me in Canada and then Chump Vet just fly up. But one way or the other, we're gonna make this a thing, and we'll keep this thread on Corvette Forum going until the car is being driven at the track at Rocky Mountain Motorsports north of Calgary. See you guys later.